Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 21, episode number 25. We've reached the end of the season, but there's still playoffs to be had. We're just a non-participant, not even close. So we'll make our way through that. But before I speed my way through the playoffs like last year, I still have some team maintenance to take care of so that we don't lose a bunch of quality players, so that we don't lose a bunch of quality coaching staff. Gotta prep myself on those. So these are the upcoming free agents. These guys at the bottom, yeah, they're gone. They're done. A 27-year-old relief pitcher with 1-star potential isn't worth hanging on to. But I think from about here on up, as long as they're not super old. Garrett Richards is the only one, and Kevin Munson at 32. I might try to, we're way past trade deadline, so I think we'll let him go. Outside of that, we're going to try to re-sign all of these guys briefly. So, offer minor league extensions. Even him, even though he's 28 and already reached his potential. Okay, we'll skip over Munson. Haggerty, and that brings us up to these top four. Jose Ruiz, nasty injury, spent the year at AAA. Yeah, that didn't help us. His 35 ERA in 9 games. He only pitched 5 innings. Okay. Newsome. Okay, same thing. Minor league extension. That takes us to our top 2 guys. We have Zach Davies, Garrett Richards. Richards, herniated disc, back, 2 weeks. Been there, done that. That feels horrible. It's really sad for me when a guy has a very similar baseline to last season, 116 innings versus 121 innings. He was 7-5 a year ago, 3-11 this year. He cut down on the walks, 54-37, but he also lost 30 strikeouts and gave up almost 2 runs a game more than a year ago. Okay, well, he's 33. I suppose. He is pretty fragile. I think for that, I need to let Garrett Richards go. I'm assuming he's going to be looking for... He's only $3.5 million, and certainly could be traded. If for cheap, I'd re-sign him and then trade him around spring training. Okay, that's actually pretty affordable. The third year is an option, but it's a player option. Let's try to flip that to a team option instead, as in there's our big negotiation. $112,000 bonus if he gets to 160 innings, which he has not done, and he is fragile. It's not likely to do. Okay. All right, so we got a buyout offer. Which amounts to 10%. That's not bad. Okay. And we're down to just one guy left to deal with now. Maybe I should go back once we came, and we'll just go this way. All right, so Zach Davies, last one, also a 3-star pitcher, 28 years old. How do we not know anything about him? Made way too much money. Way too much money for what he has done this season. So if he's looking for similar money, I don't think he's going to find it here. He did manage to get nearly 200 innings, but a 5.5 ERA. Gave up 44 home runs. Ouch. I mean, that's almost 1.5 per appearance. And when you throw in that there's probably going to be somebody on base from time to time with that, I mean, that's a couple of the runs of his ERA right there. One swing of the bat. Or 2 swings in the every other game. Yeah, wins above replacement. It goes from a 3.3 to a negative 0.4. Still isn't the worst, but, you know, man, not what I would have hoped for. And did he come in the deal for Mookie Betts? I think he might have. All right, so 1-year deal, $10.5 million. And he's not interested in re-signing, so he's gone. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, we have plenty of money sitting around, which is good. Our projected payroll has some flexibility. We're going to be at exactly half of the payroll budget. Or is that just the budget for the year? Okay, other expenses, yeah. So we've got a good $21 million to play with, which is nice. And that's 10 of it right there. All right. Well, that takes care of that piece. Let's go ahead and get to the playoffs. I still have some coaching things to handle, so hopefully I will remember. But let's take a look at playoff coverage. Let's do it this way. Playoff tree. Okay. Art Warren, relief pitcher. Oh, he actually did get a little bit. Last year didn't get anything. Oh, the last 2 years. Okay, well, that's fine. He's super ticked. Most of our AAA team is, so it's going to be hard to get some of those guys signed back on. All right, so the Padres beat the Cubs in the NL wildcard. A's beat the Astros. It was the Angel. Wow. I mean, look at the dominance of our division. But at the same time, and that definitely explains some of our losses. But still, the Astros out. Dodgers, Braves take game 1. All right, what do we have? Contract signed. That's all good. it's just of the month, not for the season. What do we have? Brian Hudson, yeah, another Rainiers player who was 1-30. He had one of those illustrious wins. I'd probably charge you for your locker room towels. Okay, he wants to actually get paid. Hudson is the 2-star starter who I'd like to not lose. 50 stamina means he's more of a reliever. He's got some decent movement, but dun, dun, dun. Okay, we actually brought him in April. He was one of the free agents we picked up. Now that's 2 that are going to leave. Well, 3, technically. Okay, well, list is getting a little shorter. Why are there guys that were not on the list before? Maybe he was. Keep an eye out on that. Okay, that's kind of silly that I can't just put him back on the active roster. So it doesn't matter at this point. Okay, there's 4 more signed. Okay, we did have an offer in for him. Wow, you're just going to keep pumping that one at me, aren't you? Ben Murphy, still 7 weeks for him. Okay, Ruiz is signed. Let's get back to that playoff coverage. Tampa Bay up 2-0. Dodgers 3-0. Gary Richards signed on. Okay. Okay, yeah, list is getting much shorter. So Davies is out. A couple of these guys. Art Warren is out. Was it Hudson, the other one? Yeah. So I think Munson is the only one left. Oh, no. At 32, we were letting him go. So that's it. We're losing just 7 players out of the entire organization. So that's going to allow us to continue to rebuild. Now, I'm not happy to lose the quality of these 3, or Davies really for that matter, but at $10.5 million, not worth it anyway. The kind of season he had. He gives us a lot more money to play with, so I'm more okay with him leaving. And then these 3, well, at 32, 28, these guys are pretty old already anyway. Hudson, I'd certainly like to keep around, but I understand after what happened, and then no problem losing them. So I think we're headed in the right direction. Let's go ahead and take a look at personnel and find out. Okay, 2021. So I do have a bench coach and a pitching coach with no reputation. take a look at them. Let's start at the bottom, though. 2021, poor. Let's find out about Brett Schneider and how he has done. Below average hitting coach. He focuses his time on teaching hitters to make better contact. Okay, they went from pretty poor a year ago. He's been with the team both the last 2 years. They did have better contact. I mean, they hit 26 points better than a year ago and moved up. But I did have some quality players in that lineup compared to a year ago. He's below average, though. So we'll probably let him go. I really need to improve the coaching staff down here to help these guys develop. Okay, Umbria. Still trying to establish himself. For him putting the ball in play and making things happen is key to success. He would not be expected to do very well as a manager were he given the chance. But he's still trying to establish himself. It doesn't say he's bad. And his guys do hit okay. Of course, they were, 36-20. They were the cream of the crop in the Arizona League. So I think I want to keep him. Let's make it 34. This will make it 38. He wants a promotion, though, if he's going to stay around. Has big talent as a hitting coach, but 31-year-old is still relatively unheralded. So he doesn't come with a big reputation. Well, that's good. He's quality. Means I definitely want to keep him around. Oof, that is a big pay increase. Let's see if we can get away with dropping that down a bit. Okay, there you go. We got him re-signed. Alright, we've got a couple here. Benjamin has not had much success as a hitting coach. Remains to be seen if that will change in the future. He does seem to be more effective when working with contact hitters for whatever that is worth. So no, we're going to let him go. Okay, here's a manager with an expiring contract. 32-year-old Zach Livingston is influenced by sabermetrics. He's still working to improve his reputation. There's nothing special about his personality, basically. He just wants to concentrate on managing to the best of his ability. Yeah, it's actually a decent guy, but... Oh, okay, he got promoted. He was Arizona League last year. Didn't have the greatest season. But again, there was no quality in the team. And compared to AAA anyway, they were brilliant. So I'll try to keep him around. That's a lot of money he wants, though. Give him a small. Okay, we'll respond to it shortly. I think I might still have time to re-sign him. What do we got? You've already got an extension signed. Hawking. Decent reputation. Takes a tactical approach to managing, making frequent substitutions, playing the matchups. Danny likes to consider himself just one of the guys. Isn't much for clubhouse drama. Laid-back style should be a benefit if the team is winning games, but likely won't help if the clubhouse has tension. They struggled at 47 and 93, but again, we just had no quality. They actually hit 278. It was just the pitching that really, really struggled. Gave up 500 runs more than a season ago. If the price is right, we'll re-sign him. That's kind of a hefty pay raise that you're wanting. Let's just go even. Give you a small pay raise. You haven't earned anything big. Alright, so we got a few offers. Alright, we're up to double A now, where they did hang in there despite not having any good players around. This is the pitching coach. Okay, pitching coach. Here they actually did okay with a small number of players. Not had consistent success after 6 years. But he hasn't been horrible. Again, only if he's cheap, and that is pretty cheap. Oop, he doesn't want. That's fine. Brown. Worked so well for others, ought to work for him too. So far, they have not. The veteran matcher has always been approachable. His personality should help him make friends in the dugout, but it may not end up as the best development environment for players. Okay, well then he's going bye-bye. And then we already have a vacancy here. Okay, got probably just two guys I'm looking at. Mark isn't unremarkable. You can work with power pitchers, control guys like. He's not specialized in any one area as a pitching coach. After 24 years, his reputation is that of an average coach who seldom gets a pitching staff to reach their full potential. Can I get average right now, though? I mean, average could be something. Alcantara, better options. He prefers fine-tuning the mechanics of his pitchers to increase velocity. But it hasn't made much of a difference. Well, he's a brand new coach anyway. First name that comes to mind when you think top pitching coaches, despite a middling reputation, though, has put together a decent 22-year career. All right. Push forward in these playoffs a little bit. That's our single A manager. We definitely lowballed a bit. Check back in here. Indians and Angels on to Game 5. I'm getting immediate responses from this guy. All right, so we've got Rays and Angels. Dodgers and Braves. Could it be another LA matchup? Braves take game 1. Okay, there we go. Neil Allen resigns. Let's see here. 1-0. Oh, played to 10. What was the score? Oh, there it is, 7-3. Keep forgetting. Okay, so Tampa Bay wins game 1, 7-3. They also take game 2, 7-5. The Braves took the first 2 games 8-5 and 4-2. But the Dodgers win game 3 in a tight squeeze. That was 5-4. Mostly home runs in that game. David Price, Sean Newcomb in the next matchup. 5-0, the Braves win. They go 3-1 now. Meanwhile, the Angels on the verge of a sweep after a 2-1 victory. And they do sweep. 6-5. Wow. Every game was within 2 runs. And they still end up sweeping. MVP goes to Ohtani. And we've got the Braves up 3-2 as the Dodgers claw back a game to keep the series alive. They win 3-1. Game 6. Dodgers still alive, 7-6, so they win 2 straight and 3 in the last 4 to even the series and send it to a Game 7 in LA, where Kyle Wright will match up with Brusdar Graterol. And the Dodgers come from behind, a rare feat from 3-1 down. Gavin Lux gets the series MVP. And it is an LA rematch at the World Series. Nothing happening with the coaches so far. Game 1 will take Ohtani with David Price. David Price might be a big name, but he has not had the best of seasons. But Hasegawa is going to take the win. Ohtani with the loss, and it's 9-2. That is a big blowout in the first game. And then the Dodgers, who looked on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs 5 games ago, have won 5 straight and now lead the World Series 2-0. A la, the Braves, when they, not the Braves, the Red Sox, right? The Red Sox, when they finally broke the curse. They were down 3-1 to the Yankees, weren't they? AL Championship Series. And then flipped it, won 3 straight, and then went and swept the World Series. Will the Dodgers do the same this year? Trout had 2 homers. They still ended up winning. It is a 3-0 lead now for the Dodgers after a 7-5 win. Looks like you've got David Price and Griffin Canning in Game 4. And there it is. They do. Wow, the Dodgers sweep with an 8-7 victory. And look at that. They scored 9, 11, 7, and 8 in the series, averaging about 9 runs per game to sweep the Angels. And they do. They win 7 straight after going 3-1 down in the NL Championship Series. They get backed into a corner and then absolutely catch fire and win the World Series. All right. Well, I haven't gotten answers on all those coaching contracts, but if I lose those guys, I lose those guys. It looks like I got maybe a couple re-signed, but we are going to leave some vacancies there, move some guys around now that I know where to find whether they're effective or not. In that description, I could kind of figure out who to keep around. I went purely off of reputation last year when I signed some guys, and that clearly did not work out in our favor, as our AAA team did start the season with a full roster. I know that we were down on players late in the season, but that was through injuries and guys getting promoted to the senior ball club. That didn't start like that. They didn't start with those vacancies. So that had to have come down to coaching, because the quality actually looked better this year than it was a year ago in my AAA ball club, or at least I thought it was. Maybe I was wrong, but picked up a couple things on what to look for and how to set things up a little bit better. And obviously, we really saw growth down at the grassroots, down at the bottom end. So hopefully I can see that pick up a little bit higher this next season, that we can see the low A and the single A teams start to play better, perform better, get some wins, have winning records. And hopefully I can just continue that upward growth, because most of our minor league system was nothing but half-star guys that weren't going anywhere, weren't going to amount to anything. And just picking up those little nuances that are going to help me manage the club, the minor league system, a bit better. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next episode. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.